Hello you guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another Tuesdays in the Attic. Today we are playing with a bunch of scraps and leftovers and papers from my scrap bin. Here is the Freaky Fast formula we're using today for Tuesdays in the Attic. Me and Jen, Kay's mom, here on YouTube and on Instagram from November 2018. So right now I'm just cutting my 7-inch circle, and then we have two 5x7s and 2.5 by 10. And I don't remember what the other one was now off the top of my head, but you saw it. I am using some of these papers. I kind of bunched them. This is old Lily Bee design paper. And some of the others is from a Simple Stories collection. It was like Remember Me or something like that. But it had a lot of really good sentiments and things for remembering loved ones. And so I really liked the colors, and I really wanted to kind of jump off of that yellow pattern paper with the florals. So grabbing this gray piece of cardstock, cutting that down, and I'll grab another piece of cardstock and cut that down to the size. But I'm grabbing from a scrap bin, trying to use up some supplies that I've had just kind of lying around for a while as I reorganize my whole scrap space. So, you know, cleaning up the piles, as it were. So I grabbed a couple other papers from my scrap bin just to cut for the 5x7, thinking I was going to do like a double mat. And I don't have my photos picked out quite yet, but I will pick them out here shortly. I really liked the look of this torn edge, so I'm cutting it 5x7, but then I'm tearing the edge right away because I really want to incorporate that. So now I've got all my papers for the cuts that are in the Freaky Fast formula, but I've also got a couple others just from my scrap bin. They were there, they kind of all coordinated. I thought they'd look good together. I grabbed this kind of off-white notebook paper as my background. I just got it at Hobby Lobby. And so I'm going to take a couple of these papers. The turquoise and the yellow were from that Simple Stories collection. I'm going to take those and kind of create a border over there on the side, as well as this was that other strip was from a paper pad that had like wood grain and other backgrounds in it. So it was kind of like a stone bottom with wood grain. And so it was just a strip left over that was in the scrap one. I saw that was torn too. So that's kind of where I was liking the torn edge. So I'm going to just kind of build up from there, and none of these are part of the cuts in the Freaky Fast formula, but no one says you have to use only those. You can always add more. So here I'm going to finally start incorporating my cuts for the Freaky Fast formula: the two 5x7s, the 7-inch circle, and then the two 10-inch pieces. I'm just kind of playing, and I end up just layering them all behind each other just so a little bit of the color pops out. So nothing super astoundingly creative, but I really like all the layers it's giving, and I really want to nestle my circle into that ripped edge over there on the left, so I'm going to end up doing that. I have all these border strips that I never use, so I had a border strip or two. We're going to glue those down as well, and I still haven't picked out my photos. That's what I thought was super fun about this page, is building, having no clue about what photos I was going to use. So I'm going to get all these pieces glued down at least to the circle, and then I will play with those two 5x7 pieces after I pick out my photos. I kind of have an idea, and then I change it a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It's pretty basic. So I'm trying to work through a bunch of photos that I've started kind of scrapping, and you look through some and then you leave the other ones out. So I have a pile of photos that I have. These are all from 2016, I believe. And I come across two of one just evening, my son and I home by ourselves. And I think I was doing some stretches on the floor, or I had just done yoga, or we were laying there watching TV, and he decided to lay on my back and watch TV that way. And so I remember snapping. I actually remember this date, and so I remember snapping a couple photos. So I trim them down to under 4 inches, and then I grab a random paper from a paper pad just to mat them that's kind of in the same colors. I'm going to cross, then I'm going to layer that torn white and black page, which I think that is an Amy Tan paper, the white pattern with the black like triangles. I'm going to layer that underneath my photo. So I had these 2 cards that were still left over from the Simple Stories collection, and I liked them, and I tried to cut them out in circles. My circle cutter doesn't go that small, and I didn't have any punches as big, so I tried to freehand the one. It was not working. And then this other one I really wanted to use, and I was trying to just create like a half circle like type label tab to go under the photos, but I ended up cutting it into a pointed banner. I end up liking that anyway, and I end up ditching that other one. I decided I like the let's stay home sentiment on the other one anyway more than the other one, so I was fine with tossing that in the trash. Yes, it did go in the trash. I'm trying to clean up my space, use up things, and I'm realizing there's a lot of things that I've been holding on to for a really long time, and it's time to let it go, so I was fine with that. So I have a couple little bowls on my desk that have just kind of leftover stuff in them, so I'm trying to use up some of those things as well. I'm going to have a goal, I kind of have an unsaid, unwritten goal to try to grab at least a couple items from the various knickknacks I have on my desk every time that I make a page, just to start using them, because I feel like I have papers, but I have embellishments on embellishments on embellishments, and I like to embellish, but I don't like to embellish to the point of overkill, so I don't use up embellishments as much as I think I would. So I'm going to play, this one is home, or where the heart is what this one says. And this one just says wonder, and there's a nice little journaling spot. I think some of these are citrus twist. And then there is that black piece that says this evening, so I add that under let's stay home. And then I'm going to use up a bunch, not a bunch, but like one little baggie of acrylic from Colorcast Designs, which go really, really well with this. I'll use up a roll of enamel dots, so I use up a couple things on this page, which is always very satisfying to be able to do that. It's nice to use up some things. And then I'm going through, so I recently have been kind of organizing, so all my collections and all my designers that I have papers and collections and kits from are all in these drawer organizers that I got. And so I'm finding that I have some that have these lovely photo boxes of embellishments, which I love, but they don't fit. When I have so many papers in the bins, they don't fit. So I'm kind of trying to keep them by me so I can go through them more and maybe use them up. And same like with what I was saying, I tend to use up the paper first before I use up all the embellishments in a collection, I've noticed, when I have bigger collections. With my scrapbook kits, I use it kind of all up together, which is nice. But with these bigger kits, when I was buying just full kits or full collections before, I definitely have way more embellishments than I ever needed. So I'm finding that out. So I'm going to scatter those around as well as enamel dots, and that is it. So here's some close-ups. Make sure you check out what Jen created for today, and I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.